Midweek in league action, Leyton Orient beating Tranmere by 3-0. Pretty emphatic victory. Probably Leyton Orient needed that.
They did. I think they're a bit annoyed that they've only been drawing of late. They need to get a win to get the confidence back up, and that certainly would have done them a lot of confidence there. Looks a bit of a sloppy goal to me here. You're looking for your defenders, just put the foot through it, but unfortunately it's ended up in the back of the net, and they'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, that's schoolboy defending, really, isn't it? But Orient are sat in a decent position, and
Shane Sheriff
getting sent off for his second yellow card there, which leaves them Tranmere with an uphill task, and Orient go on.
This is Sean Thornton with the second one, then Jason Demetriou for 3-0. Yeah, it puts them back up into 6th place, back in the playoff positions again.
Yeah, that's right, and their home form's good as well, so they've got good potential, and they'll be looking to push on in the second half of the season and at least make sure that they stay in those playoff positions.
On Friday night, Bristol Rovers inflicted Tranmere's 3rd league defeat in a row by claiming their 3rd win in a row. They were good value for it as the Pirates' front two carried out the raid. Andy Williams scored on 12 minutes after Ricky Lambert's assist. Then 2 minutes before the hour, the points were wrapped up by Lambert after Williams had been blocked off. The result means that both sides are getting closer to each other in the table as Tranmere fall and Bristol climb.
Attacking. Has seen its fair share of cup upsets over the years. Not quite Ronnie Radford, but Simon Johnson's goal was enough to guarantee Hereford another home draw against Cardiff in round 4.
Tranmere won on the road for the first time since October with a late decider at Prenton Park. Anthony Kay headed in 3 minutes to go to leave the Lions in the relegation places.
Two clubs who are desperate to avoid the tag of the nearly men in League One lined up at Prenton Park. Tranmere and Yeovil were separated only by goal difference when they started their game. Watched by Peter Stevenson.
It's a 450-mile round trip from the West Country to the Wirral. But Ronnie and Russell's teams couldn't be closer. Same points, same playing record going into the game.
Hopefully I'm the happy manager after the game, but both of us need to win the game, so I don't think it's going to be a game where people are sat off. I think it's going to be a real entertaining game. I think there'll be goals in it, and hopefully we get more than them.
Our form is not great, but we're in there, that's the main thing, but points are becoming increasingly precious as games run out, so big game for both of us.
And both Tranmere and Yeovil fans knew the importance of the fixture.
I think if we keep players fit, no more suspensions, and I think we can do it.
This division's so tight that anyone could end up there, win 3 or 4 games and you're up there.
Supporting them now for 55 years.
And you want to see them go up?
I do.
The transfer season ends Thursday and we're hoping to pick up 3 good players. If we do that, we're hoping to get to the Wembley again.
Everyone's aim was to close that 6-point gap on the playoff places. Time for both teams to forget recent blips. Tranmere had the perfect start, going ahead inside 5 minutes. Calvin Zola's right foot finish was immaculate. It was his 3rd goal of the season and brought the feel-good factor back for Rovers. They were much the better side in the first half, only Steve Mildenhall's reactive save keeping out Shane Sheriff's header. But Tranmere have a bad habit of making a sluggish start to the second half, and this was no exception. The defence presented Yeovil's new signing Andy Kirk with a close-range chance, which he took without hesitation. Zola was a threat all the game for Tranmere, and his presence earned the home side a penalty just after the hour. With regular spot kickman Chris Greenacre on the bench after injury, it was left to Jennison Myrie-Williams to stay cool and convert. No wonder Tranmere want to extend his loan from Bristol City until the end of the season. Minutes later, Yeovil's cause wasn't helped when Mark Bircham collected his 2nd yellow card and was off. Mildenhall scrambled Steve Jennings' free kick away to safety. Relief then for Rovers and Ronnie as they closed that gap. Yet more frustration for Yeovil and Russell.
We've got to start better than that, and we've got to adapt better than that to the nature of the way Tranmere play. It can't be a nice game of football week in and week out.
And relief at the end in a way when that penalty hit the back of the net?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it. That's how relieved I was, you know.
What do you mean you didn't see it?
Well, I wasn't looking. so I don't know which corner he put it or what happened. Full marks to him. He's come up and he's cracked in the back of that and goes 3 points.
We have to bounce back. We have no choice, and that comes around on Tuesday very quickly, and we go to Port Vale, and you know, we're in a situation where we desperately need to win a football match.
Close the gap. We were 6 points adrift. Now we're 4 points adrift of that playoff spot. Home game to come. We win the home game, we could end up just a point behind going to Leeds on Saturday. So it's all to play for.
Yeah, is that a game you target, Andy, as a manager when you're right next to another club in the league table?
Well, it's important to get one over on your closest rivals. If you can get a win against them and push them up, then it will knock the other team back as well. So it's a good win for Tranmere there.
You know Russell Slade from your days at Sheffield United, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he was a youth team coach when I was there, so we've kept in touch over the years. So it's nice to see him doing well.
But Tranmere on the move again. They've lost a few of their strikers and creative players, haven't they? Chris Shuker, Steve Davis, Chris Greenacre was on the bench for that game, so they've got to come back yet. But, you know, Ronnie's got, I suppose, Calvin Zola, Gareth Taylor still on board.
Yeah, well, Ronnie knows how to get out of this league. He's did very well at Rotherham.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zola's scored a goal on Saturday and you know, created the other one with the penalty. But he's a real hard opponent to play against. He's a big, strong lad and very powerful.
There's Ronnie Moore saying, you know, he couldn't look at the penalty. He's in a million games. Do you actually look away sometimes?
No, because I want to blame someone when I know what's gone wrong.
Good idea. Welcome back, but the big welcome back of the week will be on Saturday at Elland Road when Gary McAllister returns to manage Leeds United.
McAllister, and that'll do! Oh, it's beautifully done. Bring it on back, bring it on back, bring it on back.
So the hero returns. What kind of reception will he get, Chris, and what kind of job has he got to do there?
He'll get an unbelievable reception. If they can make any more noise, because they're such a fantastic crowd, they've had full houses all season, so if they can squeeze any more in, they'll give him a rapturous reception, that's for certain. You don't know what sort of job he's going to do. You don't know. It's a difficult division to get out of. You know, the one thing that he's got that stature and that respect.
Well, you know his character, don't you?
Yeah,
You've been alongside him in the trenches, as it were.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I played with Gary at Leeds as well, and what a fantastic player he was. And all his teams, when he was manager at Coventry, they pass the ball and they play. A lot of times when I've watched Leeds this season, they haven't done that. You know, so that it might be a change in style for them as well.
One job so far at Coventry, loads of money troubles there hampered him, didn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, it's a difficult job at Coventry City. I mean, once again, it was a surprise when he went to Coventry as a player, wasn't he? Because you expected him to go on to a bigger club than Coventry, but he went there, and then he got the opportunity to manage them when times were hard, you know, lean times.
His late wife's illness really stopped his career, didn't it?
And now, you know, I think if he changes that style, I think that one or two of the players will welcome a change in style as well, because basically even though they've been winning games, Leeds, they've been, you know, muddling through them basically.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got to pick him up a little bit, hasn't he? Southend beat them 1-0 in midweek.
They're losing goals and losing games 1-0 now, you know, whereas they were winning games 1-0 at the first half of the season. And it's strange, you know, and he's just got to get that mentality back into them now. Look, you know, it doesn't matter what's happened before, the points and all that's been talked about. This position that we're in from at this moment in time gives us an opportunity.
How do you see his first spell in charge?
Well, there's no easy games, is there? I mean, Tranmere, you're going to love it, you know, going back to Elland Road. Ian Moore playing for his dad, Ronnie, in his first game back since signing from Hartlepool. That's a difficult one. And then you've got Nottingham Forest, Doncaster, Northampton, who are doing OK. They're all hard, George.
Anthony Elding comes in, doesn't he? One of the signings he's brought in. He must have spotted him in the lower leagues.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a great, you know, spot from Gary, because obviously he's one of the players in League Two who could make a step up. So immediately bringing him into the mix of what they've got, there's no shortage of strikers at Elland Road, and they're going to need him between now and the end of the season, and Elding is one who really catches the eye.
It's Tranmere first up, and they're having a good spell, aren't they, Tranmere? Just beat Gillingham, Paul McLaren and Calvin Zola got the goals here.
Yeah, Calvin Zola's always a threat, and with Ian Moore, this is his first club, Ian Moore. I remember taking him on
He's just gone back to join his dad, hasn't he? Yeah,
exactly. When I was manager of Bradford, I brought him on loan. He was in England under 21 international at the time. Like I said, they're all going to go to Ellen Road, and that fantastic crowd, they're passionate, and if you can't enjoy your football playing in front of that crowd, who can? That's what makes it harder for Leeds.
Yeah.